Jai Shri Narayan, everyone. Today, 13th June 2022. Thanks everyone for joining for Bhagavad Gita Satsang. Before we start, any questions on the introduction that we discussed in the last 2 weeks? No? Okay. So I'll share my screen and we'll start Sloka 1, chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita. Can you see?
Yeah.
Presentation? Okay. Jai Shri Narayana. So Bhagavad Gita, total how many chapters are there? I think most of you are familiar with it.
18 chapters.
18 chapters.
18 chapters. How many slokas?
720.
700.
700.
701,
And one-
depending
Yeah.
on the version. 700.
Yeah,
Some people say
700 is the widely accepted. There are some versions where one sloka was added,
Yeah.
but the widely accepted one is 700. Okay, so it is 700 slokas, and each sloka name ends with, sorry, each chapter name ends with yoga. Okay, so here yoga, what is the meaning of yoga?
The means.
Very good. Yes, so yoga or yoga here does not mean the asanas. There are other meanings of yoga, but here each chapter is a means or method for attaining a particular goal.
Yeah.
So what is that goal? We'll see, so, but each one is a means for us. Okay. And who are we also we will learn in Bhagavad Gita. So, so 18 chapters are divided into 3 shatkams. Okay, so each shatkam is 6 chapters. Shatkam means 6, group of 6.
Yeah.
Right.
I have one question. You said each chapter will end with yoga.
Yeah.
Name of
Yeah.
the chapter.
Oh,
Name of
name
of the chapter.
Okay.
Sorry. So each chapter name ends with the word yoga,
Okay.
or in English we call yoga. So Arjuna Vishada Yoga is the first chapter name, and so it is a means for attaining our goal. So, and typically, we think that we would never think that Vishada means what?
Dukkam.
Dukkham.
Sadness.
Yes. Sadness, distress,
Sadness.
misery, despondency, distress, misery, sadness, So we never usually think that distress or sorrow is a means for us. Okay. I mean, that is the first means for us. I mean, and that typically think maybe it is not important, right? Whatever is the first one, it is really, really, really important, right? Something that all of us need to learn, and all of us need to understand. That is like anything that is first is like the most fundamental thing, right? So it's something that is very, very fundamental, right? So it starts with Vishada, as Arjuna and whose Vishada? It's Arjuna Vishada, not anyone else's Vishada. So Arjuna Vishada, there is something special about it, you know. We will learn who all felt Vishada in this chapter, and why only Arjuna's Vishada, Arjuna's sorrow is the means. Why not the other sorrows? So we need to understand that sorrows are our means only under certain conditions, or only when that sorrow is qualified, is in a particular way, or how we treat it, how we address it. Only then it becomes our means. Every sorrow cannot become our means. Like, don't think that, oh, if I have to attend something, I have to feel sad. No, I mean, that is not the criteria here. When we feel sorrow, okay, how we address it is going to be our means, or how we treat it, how we experience that sorrow, and how we address becomes our means. So we will learn all that in this chapter. Okay, so let's
Sir, does it
start.
mean that it is Arjun's Vishada is the means for us to gain knowledge or to do? It means for what?
Arjuna's Vishada, we are all indebted to Arjuna, because unless he felt that Vishada, we wouldn't have got this, the Bhagavad Gita, knowledge. Now, one more thing, just curiosity, like some fun facts. Now, what is the age of Arjuna and Krishna at the time this Bhagavad Gita message was given?
99, 97. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I think
they were
99.
not 99. I think early 90s. So they were
99.
in 90s, 92, something like that. We can think of. So they were in early 90s when they were actually fighting. That's another thing. So, I mean, I skipped the entire introduction of Mahabharata and about Kurukshetra war, why it happened, and all that. I think most of you are familiar with already. So when the war, Kurukshetra war, just about to start, okay, that is when we got this message. Right now, it is widely accepted that Lord Krishna's avatara, the incarnation of Lord Krishna, the purpose of Lord Krishna is that avatara is to give this message to humanity, mankind, for all future generations. So Arjuna is just it's he's a means to give that to all of us, or he's an instrument. Lord Krishna has used Arjuna as an instrument to give this message to all of us. Okay. In Telugu they call Saku. It's the right word.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So it is so through Arjuna we are getting this message. Now, if Lord Krishna avatara, the incarnation purpose is to give Bhagavad Gita message to us, why did he wait for 90 plus years to give this message to us? I mean, if let us say, if he wanted to give this message, why can't he give this every day almost, like, starting when he is young, find some people, give this message, find some people, give this message. He didn't do that. He was waiting for the right opportunity, right person to give this message. Okay. So Arjuna's Vishada. So when Arjuna felt the Vishada and he approached Lord Krishna in a particular way. So that also we will learn. When he approached Lord Krishna in a particular way, then only Lord Krishna gave the message to Arjuna. He did not simply give this message to Arjuna whenever they had free time, right? Or whenever they were enjoying, just in a nice time, or whenever they were in the forest. He didn't do that. So Arjuna's Vishada, uh, he got the Vishada and he addressed in a particular way. Then only Lord Krishna gave the message to us, message to Arjuna. And the purpose is to give this message to the entire humanity through Arjuna. Okay. Papa, you got so it is not like we, uh, we have to feel Arjuna's Vishada. I mean, we can be in the same boat as Arjuna, right? Arjuna is fighting the war there. So all of us, we are not going to go and fight war like Arjuna, right? But we need to apply this knowledge to our situations, and it is possible. It is, I mean, we all go through it. Okay, how Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana, and Arjuna, how they felt the Vishada, we all go through the same Vishada under a different circumstance. It's not exactly that we have to fight war, then only we will get Vishada. No, we get the same Vishada, in several scenarios, situations. But the question is, are we going to address it like Arjuna? So if we address it like Arjuna, then our Vishada becomes a means for our success. If we address it like a Duryodhana or a Dhritarashtra, then it becomes, it becomes painful, and it does not give us the result that we are expecting. So we need to understand the differences between, these three people who felt Vishada, who felt sorrow in this particular chapter. Again, this is all, the secrets revealed to us with Sri Swamiji's blessings, and the knowledge that our Acharyas have given to us. If you just read the Slokas, it is not going to be that evident. We we need to really understand the meaning and experience it, and then we will be able to understand the secrets behind this. Again, Lord Krishna calls this as a secret, so it's something that we need to, it is so valuable and need to be properly accessed, right? And properly used. So we need to understand Arjuna's Vishada and how he addressed it. That becomes our means. So that is why Arjuna Vishada Yoga is the name of this chapter. Okay, so just to set the scenario very quickly, in Kurukshetra war has just about, it's just about to begin, and Kauravas on one side, they had 11 Akshauhinis of army. Okay, and on the other, their opponents are Pandavas. Okay, Pandavas had 7 Akshauhinis of army. Akshauhini is a number of people. So if we combine, the total is 18 Akshauhinis, and the total is approximately 4 million people. Total number of people who participated is 4 million people in the war. So they, both Kauravas and Pandavas are I'll stop sharing. So Kauravas and Pandavas are they're on the opposite side. So the Kurukshetra war is about to happen. And then, the Arjuna felt the Vishada. And that is when Lord Krishna gave the message to Arjuna. So when this message is given, like war has not started yet. Okay, so war started on the first day of Margasira, lunar month, and nobody knew at the time. Nobody knew that the message was being given. Lord Krishna is giving the message to Arjuna. So basically, it's a dialogue between Arjuna and Krishna. So Arjuna asked a question, Krishna would respond. So like that, it is going on. So these two people are talking to each other in the middle of the war field in Kurukshetra. And nobody had any clue about what they were talking about. Okay. So at that moment, the Bhagavad Gita message is not revealed to the world. But what happened was on the 11th day, the commander-in-chief of Kaurava army is Bhishmacharya. Bhishmacharya was, he fell down. I mean, he was hurt badly and he fell down. He couldn't, and of course, he did not leave his body. He did not die, but he fell down. So he cannot fight anymore. So when he fell down on the 11th day, that news, that message was given to King Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra is a king for the Kauravas. I mean, on their Kaurava side. So his sons are the Kauravas. So Dhritarashtra felt very sad, So that is when Dhritarashtra asked Sanjaya to, to tell him what has happened in the Kurukshetra war field. As you know, Dhritarashtra is blind, so he cannot see by himself. And Vedavyasa, who Vedavyasa is, he gave the Divya Drishti, to Sanjaya. Divya Drishti in the sense he can hear long distance and he can also see what's going on in a long distance, somewhere else, not right in front of the person. Like typically we can see and hear in front of us, but Sanjay is given that Divya Drishti to be able to see and hear, and also not only that, he will also get the knowledge of what people are thinking, inside. Okay, so that is the kind of power that was given to Sanjaya. So Dhritarashtra called Sanjay. Sanjay is the servant of Dhritarashtra. He's a charioteer of Dhritarashtra. So he called Sanjay and asked Sanjay. So that is when the Bhagavad Gita starts. Chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna Vishada Yoga starts. Okay. So that is the background, short background of this Bhagavad Gita. I know I didn't go in a sequence, but I try to give the background as quickly as possible. So Sanjaya is the one who is narrating what has happened in the war field 11 days before, not on that day when Bhagavan Sri Krishna gave the message to Arjuna, not on that day, but 11 days later when Bhishmacharya fell down. That's when Sanjaya started revealing, when Dhritarashtra asked him the question, and that is a question. So with this question, Bhagavad Gita starts. Okay, so let's chant.
Varaprasad Garu, so this happened on the 11th day, or it's been happening, this conversation between Krishna and Arjuna from the day one?
No. So the conversation happened for a short moment on day one, before
day one.
the war started. Okay, so but at that moment, it is not revealed to the world. It was just a conversation between two people, right? Two persons in the war field. When Sanjay is narrating to Dhritarashtra, that is when it is revealed to other people through Sanjay, right? So that is when we consider it as the birth of Bhagavad Gita, that
Gita
is
Jayanti.
Bhagavad Gita Jayanti.
Gita
So it is
Jayanti.
on the Ekadasi of Margashira.
Yeah. 11th day.
Yes.
But actual jnanam was not given until Arjuna surrendered, right? I mean, okay.
See, I mean,
But all that
even though
day one itself.
Surrendering happened within the minutes of the day one.
Yeah, yes. So we'll go through that. So even though this, in this chapter, Lord Krishna is, not giving the, the knowledge, that's we think, typically the understanding is, okay, so starting from Sloka 1 of chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna starts speaking, right? Krishna starts speaking to Arjuna and starts giving message 1, 2, 3 like that. No. This entire chapter is Lord Krishna is not speaking much at all. Okay. However, it is still considered as means. That's the greatness. So it is not that Lord Krishna's message is the only one that we need to take. I mean, this is Arjuna's Vishada is also a means. Okay, for us. So that is why Bhagavad Gita starts with that. Now, that is also part of, we need to understand that. So it's not just Lord Krishna's message. Okay, there is message here also, equally important message. So entire one chapter is also equally important for us because it teaches a lot of things to us. Okay, and it teaches us how we need to address our, like after this, in the beginning of second chapter, teaches us how we need to address this Vishada. That's when the actual surrendering happens. And then Lord Krishna gives the message of Bhagavad Gita. Again, message of Bhagavad Gita is, as I said, it is useful for anyone at any time. It's not like, it is only useful when we become old enough. It's not like that. Starting from day one of our life till end of our life. Okay, and it doesn't matter which part of the world we belong to, which religion we belong to. It is applicable for all humanity. Let us start with the first sloka. Please.
You want to share it, sir?
Sharing it. Sharing.
Share. Okay. Share.
Yes, sir, we can see.
Okay. Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha.
Shri Krishna
Parabrahmane
Parabrahmane Namaha.
Srimad Bhagavad Gita.
Srimad
Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavad Gita.
Pradhamodhyayaha.
Prathamodhyayaha.
Arjuna Vishada Yogaha.
Arjuna
Vishada Yogaha.
Dhritarashtra Uvacha.
Dhritarashtra Uvacha.
Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre.
Dharmakshetre
Kurukshetre.
Samaveta Yuyutsavaha.
Samaveta
Yuyutsavaha.
Mamaka Pandavaschaiva.
Mamaka Pandavaschaiva
Pandavaschaiva
Kimakurvata Sanjaya.
Kimakurvata Sanjaya
Kimakurvata Sanjaya
Let's chant together. Dharma
Kshetre
kshetre
Kshetre Kurukshetre
samaveta
Samaveta
yuyutsaha
Yuyutsavaha
Mamaka
Mamaka
Pandavaschaiva
Pandavaschaiva
kimakurvata
Kimakurvata
sanjaya.
Sanjaya.
So Dhritarashtra Vacha. So Dhritarashtra is speaking. Dhritarashtra said, Sanjaya, oh Sanjaya. Let's look at English. Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsavaha mamakaha pandava cha eva kimakurvata Sanjaya. So he's asking Sanjaya, Dharma kshetre kurukshetre. So in this place called Kurukshetra, which is Dharma kshetra, it is a place that enhances righteousness. Okay. I mean, there is significance for that field, Kurukshetra field, that has, a lot of history behind it. And they know that it is a Dharma Kshetra. It enhances the righteousness of the people. Okay. So and that's why they chose that field as war field. And of course, it is not in, it can accommodate so many people, right? I talk millions of people and animals and everything. That is one criteria. And the second criteria is that it is enhancing the righteousness of the people. Samaveta Yuyutsavaha. So Mamakaha Pandava. So Mamakaha is my people. So Dhritarashtra is asking Sanjaya, Mamakaha, my people, that is Kauravas, and Pandava are the Pandavas. Samaveta Huyutsava, they are assembled in Kurukshetra. Yuyutsavaha, eager to fight. They are desiring to fight, right? That's why they were there. Kima Kurvata, what did they do? So here we have to understand that the context. So Dhritarashtra is very, very sad. He knew that he came to know that Bhishmacharya fell down. So that is when he asked. So for 11 days, he did not care to ask Sanjaya what is happening in the war field. On the 11th day, when Bhishmacharya fell down, Dhritarashtra asked Sanjaya, what are they doing? What did they do? Right? So now, here we need to, this is something that typically when it is written, right, we don't see the emotions behind it, right? I mean, if we just read it, there is no explanation here which says Dhritarashtra is feeling sad and then he is asking this question. Now, of course, before this chapter in Mahabharata, there is a lot of like dialogue between Dhritarashtra and Sanjay. Sanjay is already there, sitting in front of Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra was feeling sad, and he was asking. He asked. He was expressing, not asked. He was expressing that. How did he get killed? I mean, the Bhishmacharya is such a great person, right? Great warrior. He never got, for so many years, he defeated everybody. He did not lose any war. Nobody could kill him. Now, how did he get, get into this state, right? Now, that is one thing. Of course, his you know, grandfather. So he's is I mean, his father figure for him. Okay, right? So he had a very close relationship with Bhishma for so many years. You know, imagine if Arjuna and Krishna are 90 plus, then Dhritarashtra is definitely more than that. And then for all those years, he was with Bhishmacharya only, and Bhishmacharya was the one who was, you know, helping in ruling the kingdom. You know, so he had such a great respect for Bhishmacharya. He loved Bhishmacharya for, so much, and he knew Bhishmacharya is so great. Obviously, when he fell down, he feels sad. That is on one side. The second thing is that Bhishmacharya is the one who is leading Kaurava army. Now, this is where he gets more distress. Dhritarashtra. As long as Bhishmacharya is living, Dhritarashtra was kind of, you know, comfortable, like, okay, you know, nothing will happen to my sons. We will not lose this war. And he was even thinking that, you know, either, I mean, you know, the war even would not even start because Pandavas will give up the, you know, give up the weapons and then surrender because they don't want to fight against their own, you know, great grandfather and all that, right? They and gurus and other you know, relatives on the other side. So he was thinking that they would not fight, or even if they start fighting, they will probably give up in the middle of the war, yeah, or they would lose because Bhishmacharya is so great, Dronacharya, Kripacharya, all these people are so great that Pandavas would lose. So, you know, he was, you know, fairly certain that nothing will happen to his kids and he will win. Now, when Bhishmacharya fell down, now he is feeling more sad because now it is not certain anymore. You know, he may lose now, right? And there is no protection for his sons. He's worried about his sons. So then he asked, you know, with that sadness, with sorrow, he's asking Sanjaya, what are these people doing in the war? You know, when the war started, you know, tell me what my people and what Pandavas did. Okay, starting from the beginning, you know, very first moment, like when you know, the day started, on the day when the war started. So he wanted to know, right? And here we need to see that he said Mamaka, my people, and Pandavas, even though, I mean, they're his brother's sons, but he's trying to separate them as Pandava, as a, like when he says Mamakaha, and he could have included Pandavas also in it because they're all his family. But no, he is separating them out. So there's something that we need to see is that when, so Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra is a person with that kind of bias towards his sons. Okay, he has, you know, in general we can call him as bad intentions or following adharma. So when somebody is following adharma, okay, we should not be in their side, on their side, right? I mean, this is something that we need to learn. Of course, we know that Kurukshetra war is over and Pandavas became victorious. So, and a person who is following adharma calls you know, somebody as, you know, he's different, you know, he doesn't belong to me. Okay, but these are my people. Okay, so we should not be in his camp, the camp of the person who is following adharma. To a certain extent, it will look fine because the Kauravas and the people who supported Kauravas, that entire army and the kings and everybody who supported Kauravas, they were, comfortable, happy, in during that time before the war, right? So temporarily, we may be getting certain kinds of benefits and assurances and things like that, wealth, possessions, comfort, whatever, some kind of things we would be getting from even these adharmic people. But in the long run, we are, if a person is going to follow the footsteps of an adharma person, that person is going to lose. So we should be in the camp where the adharma person will say, he does not belong to me. He belongs to the other camp. So Pandavas are not in his camp. So that is why Pandavas were successful.
Sir, I have a question. So,
Sure.
was it well agreed that what Kauravas were doing was adharma? Because if it was, why did Bhishma Pitama
Mhm.
sort of agree to take their side? And I'm not
Right.
sure where was the Vyas. I think Vyasa was also there.
Yeah, Vedavasa did not support. He told many times. He told Dhritarashtra before giving this Divya Drishti to Sanjaya. I mean, at that, the time, right? He told Dhritarashtra point blank, your guys are going to lose. So it is, you know, he told them, don't do this. Don't get into this. Give the kingdom to Pandavas.
And I know it's little
So
bit
of
on
course,
a.
Vedavasa said that. Lord Krishna said that in the
Then why did
peace talks.
Bhishma Pitama, right? I mean, he
Yeah.
was grandfather for both of them.
So,
So if there was a, adharma happening and if it was understood, why did he take their side?
yeah. So that's a very good question. So Bhishma had a vow, So he took a vow to protect the kingdom, protect the throne, right? Whoever sits on it, he is not going to go against that person, whoever sits on it. And that is a kind of thing we should not be doing it. I mean, he did not
Yeah.
think that, which, I mean, this is a learning which is there in Mahabharata. So that is the struggle Bhishma Pitama had to go through in his entire life. He knew that it is wrong, but because of the vow he has taken to protect the throne and be servant, humble servant to the king, whoever it is. I'm going to serve that person. Because of that, he had to simply do whatever the king says, right? So if the king is saying that, I'm not going to give the kingdom back to Pandavas, then he cannot do anything. He has to just follow, right?
That's a
So,
struggle. That's a modern age struggle also, right?
yeah.
So I don't want to
Yes.
compare any, recent situations. So if, there's a well understood adharma, is happening, that is also a question, right? So who's the judge of that? Is it dharma or adharma, right? So
Very, very good question. So, I mean, Bhagavad Gita teaches us to certain extent what is dharma, what is adharma, right? We will go through that. Entire Mahabharata is like if you read it start to finish, we'll understand exactly what is dharma and adharma. We will get the knowledge to apply to ourselves. I mean, we may think, oh, reading Mahabharata, learning Bhagavad Gita, how will I understand? But it develops a kind of knowledge that is needed for us to apply to our own situations. There is nothing that is not in Bhagavad Gita that happens today. Not in Bhagavad Gita. There is nothing that is not in Mahabharata as a whole. Bhagavad Gita is part of Mahabharata. So anything that is happening today, we can relate to Mahabharata. So a particular event, it could be a fight between two brothers. It could be a fight between two different relations, like guru and shishya, or father and son, anything. I mean, whatever situation we take today, it happened in Mahabharata already. So reading that will give us the understanding of the dharma. That's why it's very essential for us to read Ramayana and Mahabharata to give us the good knowledge, to give that discrimination power, discerning power, to identify what is dharma and what is adharma. Now, person who is ignorant, for that person, if let us say an educated, I'm calling educated, let us say the person who has good knowledge of what is dharma and what is adharma. If that person says this is dharma, for an ignorant person, that will look like adharma, right? Okay, so that is why we need to approach acharyas, and we need to learn this knowledge through them to understand what is dharma and what is adharma by our own self. Like, just because I took birth as a human, just because I have a brain, dharma and adharma discrimination will come to me is a wrong concept. People think whatever I feel right is dharma, whatever I feel wrong is adharma. That is not correct. We will be making mistakes, of course. I know we generally know based on the law, right? I mean, we know that we cannot steal, we cannot hurt other person, we cannot kill. Those are the very basic stuff, right? That anyway people tend to understand. But there are we will understand as we go through this journey. We will understand, and hope with the Acharya's blessings, we will try to see practical situations and then say what is that we need to do in that situation. It definitely answers the question. Only thing is that we need to be willing to surrender to that message and get the knowledge. Not like, of course, we can see what is the logic behind, but not like totally reject it, saying, oh, it happened 5,000 years ago and may not be applicable to me. That's, as long as I'm able to open with an open mind, I accept it, then it has it can be applied to today's world also. And this is the dharma book. The Mahabharata Mahabharata and Ramayana both teach us. Ramayana teaches us how we need to live as a human, and also explains the relationships and all that, how we need to be behave in a particular way, with everyone else in the society, towards other family members, towards the society, towards nature and all that, how we need to behave. And that's Lord Sri Rama has given that knowledge to us as he went through as a human. So that is a great knowledge that we have through our Ramayana. And Mahabharata, we can get so many examples, so hope we'll be able to discriminate between dharma and adharma. And as you rightly said, there is no authority which will come and say, oh, this is dharma, this is adharma, right? I mean, Duryodhana, for example, he thought he is the rightful owner of the kingdom. So he always wanted to be a king, right? So to him, it appeared like that is right. I mean, so Unfortunately, he was wrong, but he never listened to anybody, to the elders, to the wise people. He never listened. So if we are open, we have the open mind, we seek advice. I mean, again, that is what going to come in this Bhagavad Gita, as a lesson for us, that we need to practice. If you seek advice, then definitely we will know what is dharma and what is adharma. If we don't seek the advice and I want to decide what is dharma and adharma, we'll make a mistake. Right? We can. So Bhishmacharya, he knew that the kingdom should be given to Pandavas, but unfortunately, he had to take the side of the Kauravas because he's bound by his pledge that he has to support whoever is the king, and whatever the king orders, he will follow. Okay, he could have simply, at the time when Draupadi's Draupadi was getting disrobed in the court, royal court. He could have taken action, but he could not because the king did not order, and king did let it happen in front of everybody. So he could not take action, right? So he did not go and start killing the people. He could have simply done that, but unfortunately, he was bound by it, and that's why he suffered a lot. All the suffering that he had to go through, emotionally throughout his life, because he could, obviously he knew that it was wrong, and also when he fell down in the war field, he was badly hurt, and he had to suffer. He had to suffer a lot. It's a very gory situation there, with all the wounds and all the flies falling on his body, and then all that. It is not a situation that anybody would want to go through. I think he stayed on that bed of arrows for 58 days when the blood is oozing from all parts of his body, and everything he got hurt all over the place. So he endured that pain for so many days as as a consequence of what he did throughout his life. Hope I answered your question.
So we might be jumping, but I think it'll come later. So I thought that he also had some arrows pierced, right? So he fell before that. So at this point, he's fallen
Yeah.
and he's hurt. Okay.
Yeah, so he, of course, Sikandi was the main reason why he got hurt, and of course, all the arrows that pierced through his body. And then when he was falling down, he fell down on the arrows, bed of arrows. So he did not fall on the ground. So imagining like all the arrows going through the body, all through the body, and then he's falling on the ground. That is very in a bad situation for anybody. And he had to go through the pain. It was not like some magic he had, so that he doesn't have to go through the pain. So the learning here is that Dhritarashtra is not only blind, that physically blind. He's also ignorant, because he ignored the he was I don't know if I want to call it as ignorant. I mean, he ignorant in the sense that if somebody is telling him that he's going to lose, I mean, thinking that he's going to win is foolishness. That is the right word. He's foolish, ignorant, and he's biased. All combined together is Dhritarashtra. And he's calling his when he, and of course he's following the adharma, he did not give the kingdom back to Pandavas, which is, and after they came out of the exile, it was supposed to be given. They decided not to give, so that is adharma, and so many adharmas happened. So he's representing adharma, and so Pandavas are representing dharma. So people told whoever is following dharma is going to win, and he ignored it. And of course, the reason was that he was thinking that Bhishmacharya is going to protect him. And now that Bhishmacharya is down, he's very sad and asking this question, what happened? Okay. We'll move to the next one. Can you see Sloka 2? Or I have to stop sharing and share again? Okay. Second Sloka. Please chant. Sanjaya Uvacha
Sanjaya Uvacha
Drishtva tu Pandavanikam
Drishtva
Drishtuva
tu
Pandavanikam
Vyudham Duryodhanastada
Vyudham
Duryodhanastada
Duryodhanastada
Acharyam
Acharyam
Acharyamupasangamya
Upsangamya
Raja Vachanamabravit.
Raja
Raja
Vachanamabravit.
Vachanamabravit
Let's chant together. Drishtva tu
Drishtva tu
Drishtva tu
Pandavanikam
Pandavanikam
Vyudham
Vyudham
Duryodhanastada
Duryodhanastada Acharyamupasangamya
Acharyamupasangamya
Raja
Raja
Vachanamabravit.
Vachanamabravita.
So when Dhritarashtra asked Sanjaya to tell him what has happened in detail, what did they do? There is a way, he didn't say what happened there. He is asking, what did my people and the Pandavas do, right? So he's explaining what they did, right? So Sanjaya is, I copied it wrong. Sanjaya Uvacha. So Sanjaya is saying, Tada, then, okay. So before that, so Drishtva tu Pandavanikam. Okay. So after seeing Drishtva, after seeing Pandavanikam is battalions of Pandavas. Okay. So all this the seven Akshohinis of Pandavas he saw, Pandava army. Okay. Vyudham, that is orderly arranged. Everything is very orderly. Duryodhana, so Duryodhana. So after Duryodhana, after seeing the Pandava army, which is orderly arranged, what did he do? Acharyam Upasangamya. After approaching his Acharya, who is Dronacharya, Raja, that is Duryodhana, Vachanam Abravit. He spoke a few words. Okay. Now, again, this is, if you just read it, Duryodhana was simply went there and started talking to Dronacharya. That is how it is given here. But we need to understand, based on the context and what he's going to say next. He saw this Pandava army. The key here is Vyudham. So he saw this beautiful, the orderly arranged, everybody is disciplined, right? In Pandava army, on Pandava side. So he saw that. and he went to his guru. Now, why would he go to his guru and speak some words, right? He's going to talk about, going forward, he's going to talk about the Pandava warriors, warriors on Pandava's side. Imagine Dronacharya, won't he know, right? Is it new for Dronacharya that there are 5 Pandavas, there are these 5-6 people who are great warriors, and it looks so illogical, isn't it? For somebody, for a person, Duryodhana, who is representing the king, in on Kaurava side, so he goes to the Acharya and starts saying that about Pandava arm. It is not just simply going. He is angry. He is jealous. See, he saw, we can see that orderly arranged. Okay. When he saw it orderly arranged, then he approached his guru. So he's afraid that, my God, I'm going to lose. They look terrifying for me now because they are disciplined. Like, you can see when there are any matches that are happening, and let us say basketball game is happening, and one side is practicing just before the game, and then everybody is throwing 3-pointers, right? What will the other side feel? They will get afraid. So Duryodhana became afraid. That is one feeling he has, that he may lose. Then second is he got jealous, that why these people, and they got so many people. See, person who is feeling jealous, they don't care what they have. Duryodhana may have whatever he may have, but this person who is jealous and greedy go together. They don't want the opposite side to have even a little bit, right? So Duryodhana is he can't tolerate that his enemy is disciplined. Can you see that? Can you feel it when you see this, right? So he's having that kind of a emotion where there is no tolerance now. And he becomes arrogant, angry. So in that anger, he goes and talks to his guru. Okay. Now, is it when somebody is angry, is he just speaking a few words like, oh, Guru, see what, they have so many people on their side? No, he's speaking with that anger. That means he's shouting, right? When somebody is angry, they don't speak normally. They will be shouting. They will be, show physical as well as that verbal arrogance, right? That aggression. So that is what you can see here. Duryodhana is now going and shouting at his guru. Okay. So Duryodhana is also having that distress now. So he's the second person in this chapter who is having the sorrow. Duryodhana Vishada. Okay. Now, what he did, we will see. Any questions on this?
When in Mahabharata, like in between, Vyasa will be giving a commentary, sir, that who is feeling sad, or this is our interpretation.
So Duryodhana was feeling, Dhritarashtra was feeling sad before this chapter started. So he was very sad before this. And based on the context and based on how people are talking, right, a particular
Okay.
word, we can understand.
Okay.
I mean, why would why would Duryodhana go to his guru and talk about, oh, we have Pandavas there, right? It doesn't make sense otherwise, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we will see. I mean, if you read the next few slokas, then we understand why, that emotion that Duryodhana has at that time, his inner character. We are going to understand. Of course, it's not like Duryodhana is such a nice, sattvic person till this happened, right? He was, he had a lot of ego. He was arrogant, right? All those things were there before. So, so based on that understanding and based on what he's saying and doing, what words are used, right? What he's speaking, we can understand how he was feeling internally. And again, with Acharya's blessings, we get this that inner secret, and then understand what should be our feeling. Why? I mean, of course, in case of Duryodhana, we should not be emulating him, right? So it is the opposite of what Duryodhana did. We have to do. It is what Arjuna's Vishada, what Arjuna did, we have to do. Duryodhana, what he did, we have to do the opposite. So whatever feelings he had, whatever emotions he had, we have to do the opposite. Because what if we follow simply what Duryodhana had, then it doesn't become a yoga for us. I mean, it doesn't become a means for us. It will be unsuccessful like Duryodhana, or unsuccessful like Dhritarashtra.
Yeah.
So I mean, Dhritarashtra, going back to Dhritarashtra, right, he listened to all those people before Bhagavad Gita, that hey, you are doing something wrong here, right? You're supposed to give the kingdom back. And he always started saying, my sons won't listen, my son won't listen, right? So he never, I mean, he thought that is his dharma. I mean, but there is when we go through dharma concepts, then we know what is Samanya dharma, what is Vishesha dharma, what is the dharma of a person. We will understand that, right? So, I mean, if you just look at it, Lord Sri Rama, he went to forest, right? And then because he went to forest, his mom is unhappy and his father died, right? So it looks like it is the wrong decision, but that is his dharma. Dharma is not to be comfortable, in the and become a king, right? Dharma is following father's word, and there are so many other things that are involved there without going into all the details. But here, as a king, it was his dharma to maintain dharma, but showing bias towards sons, even though they are not the rightful owners of the kingdom. They are not only that, they are not capable compared to Yudhishthir, right? I mean, even though these are kingdoms, and then king was passing on the kingdom to another king. When we say ours, the Vedic scriptures, people who follow dharma, they were not showing, that oh, my son only should become a king. As per the scriptures, as per the rules at that time, whoever is the most qualified should be the king, right? So it is. So I mean, he should have given it to Yudhishthir, Dharmaraj, but he didn't do that. He gave it to. He wanted to give it to Duryodhana just because he's son. So it is not. It is, even though it may look like, obviously we have to take care of our family, right? So
Sir,
it
I have
looks
a
like dharma,
sir, I
but it is dharma. Sorry, go ahead.
just a question, right? So I think Dhritarashtra was the elder son, but he was blind, right? So he was deemed, incapable, or what? I think that was their whole
Yes. Yeah.
theory behind that we are the legitimate, we should have gotten it, because I think that was the rule at the time, right? That whoever is the older son gets the kingdom, right? Is the heir
The
apparent.
older
So
son who is capable. Yes. So, and he was not
yeah,
capable of ruling the kingdom. So, because he was blind.
right.
So it is not that. I mean, again, the rule is that capable is going to
Okay.
trump the age. So that's why Pandaraj became the king. So then again, so
Yeah, I think
there
they
is a
kept
dharma
on.
that is very clear, but and Bhishmacharya, who knows dharma, he advised also, this is what you are supposed to do, but they didn't follow, unfortunately. So Dhritarashtra, because he had bias, he did not follow dharma, he perished, right? And he did not listen to wise people. He asked Sanjaya. Sanjaya also, as we go through in Bhagavad Gita, Sanjaya gave a clear message to him. Wherever there is Arjuna, wherever there is Lord Krishna, there is that is where the victory is. They will be victorious. That means you are going to lose. He told point blank, because Sanjaya got the Divya Drishti. He knows past, present, and future. He is able to. I mean, that also Dhritarashtra knows. But unfortunately, once when somebody is blind from mental capacity, also they can't see the reality. So when people are blind physically, they cannot see what is there in the front, even though it is clear to everybody else. But when somebody is blind, they can't see. So same way, Dhritarashtra is blind from mental capacity also. So he could not see what is so obvious for everybody. He was told very clearly, but he could not see, in the sense he could not accept it. He could not think. He was only thinking, oh, my sons, they have to be king, and somehow they will be king. So um, Duryodhana is showing the greedy, jealous, and arrogance when he goes and talks to his guru Dronacharya.
So I have one more question.
Sure.
So in Sanskrit, the dukh doesn't is a negative, it's not a negative. It means, I think, pain or suffering. The dukh part. So all of the sons, right? He was, Dushasan, Duryodhan. So I've always thought about, is there a reason that their names of the characters are already all of them are dukh? All
Um,
brothers are named like that, right? So
so they are also. It also shows that invincible. So Duryodhana is invincible in mace. So that is how he got his actual name is Suyodhana. So they actually had. So if you see, Suyodhana comes more frequently, but Duryodhana is a name that he acquired because he is invincible. He was a great warrior that people could not defeat him. I mean, when he learned the mace, skills from Balram, you know, so he became invincible. So uh, so that's when people. So do word also has a meaning of invincible. So it is not from a negative connotation, from a kind of positive also. I mean, the maybe you saw. I mean, dukkha is something that is a related word where you are saying, right? It also
I
has the
yeah, there are more words. I mean, I'm forgetting
yeah.
now. I thought
So
generally the dukh.
yes, so is good,
Yeah.
and sukarma,
I know ku is definitely negative, kukarma, right? They say.
Yeah.
Like so.
So do here is
Okay.
invincible. Yeah. Thank you. We'll move on to the next sloka, sloka 3. Can you see sloka 3?
Yeah, we can see it. We can see it.
Whenever I do this, the
I think you
display
go to
is
setting
going to
again.
the other side.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Then you have to go on the top and say switch, right? What you I think did last time. So
Yeah.
once you start the slide share, you have two screens, right? You have two monitors probably.
Yes.
Yeah, so I have the same problem. So if you once you start it, start the screen share, start the slideshow. I also have to find if there's a setting for always.
I mean,
So you start the
fine.
slideshow on the top where you're seeing the no. It says switch.
Right. Current.
I'll try to find it.
Or you might drag it to other monitors.
It's in. So you have to say display settings on the top where your notes are. So one is showing you main slide, the other is showing you notes, right? On the side notes. So on the side notes one on the top, the middle setting will say display settings.
We can see it.
Yes, sir, we can see.
We can see
So up presenter.
But here I'm like it is showing only the PowerPoint.
Yeah, only the
No
screen,
problem.
yes.
I mean, I will, for now, we will.
Yeah, whatever you did before, right?
We'll follow this.
Sir, I can show you after the class. I'll show you what I do on my.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so sloka 3. Suyodhana uvacha.
Suyodhana uvacha.
Pasyaitam panduputranam.
Pasyaitam panduputranam.
Panduputranam.
Acharya mahatim chamum.
Acharya
Mahatim
Chamum.
Vyudham drupada putrena.
Vyudham
Drupadam
Tava sishyena dhimata.
Tava
Sishyena
sishyena dhimata.
Dhimata.
Let's stand together.
Pasyaitam
Pasyodhana
panduputranam. Acharya mahatim
Mahatim
chamo.
Chamo.
Vyudham
Drupada
drupaputrena.
Putrena.
Tava
Tava
sishyena
Sishyena
dhimata.
Dhimata.
So, in a lot of versions of Bhagavad Gita, you would not see this. Yodhana Vacha, Duryodhana Vacha, you would not see that. Okay. But basically, in the previous sloka, Sanjaya said, Duryodhana, after seeing the orderly arranged, Pandava army, he went to, he approached Guru Dronacharya and spoke these words. So it is Duryodhana now speaking, or Suyodhana, it's the same name. So Suyodhana is speaking these things. So whenever a sloka is spoken by somebody, we are saying that at the beginning of that sloka. So in the first sloka, it is Dhritarashtra was saying, so Dhritarashtra Vacha. Second sloka was Sanjaya, so Sanjaya Vacha. Now the third sloka, Suyodhana is speaking, so Suyodhana Vacha. So what did he say? So he said, Acharya, okay. typically, if it doesn't have aha, Acharya or Ramaha, Krishnaha, if it doesn't have that aha, the visarga, then it is addressing. Okay, Sambodhana. So he's saying Acharya. So he's addressing. So Guru Dronacharya. So now he is saying that, right? So Acharya, Pasya etam. So look, he's saying Pasya, look, see. I mean, he's ordering. See these things, right? There is a way you talk to somebody. Either you order or you request. But here he's kind of, we can clearly see he's ordering. Okay. Pasya. Okay. Etam Panduputranam Mahatim Chamum. So look at this, all this entire, what is that? Panduputranam Mahatim Chamum. Force of warriors of Panduputras. Okay, Panduputra Nam, Shashti Vibhakti. So of sons of Pandu. Look at this, right? The huge force of warriors. Vyudham Drupada Putrena. So very well organized. Vyudham very well organized. Drupada Putrena by the son of Drupada, Drishtadyumna. Drishtadyumna is the chief commander-in-chief of Pandava army. Okay, and Tava Sishyena Dhimata. So who is Drishtadyumna? He is the Tava Sishya. So he's your disciple. Sishyena means by your disciple. So the Drupada Putrena Tava Sishyena is the Drishtadyumna, by Drishtadyumna, who is the disciple of yours. And Dhimata is very intelligent. So he's qualifying, the commander-in-chief of the enemies now. So see, all this this beautifully arranged, great force of warriors who are your disciple, like who is very well organized by the son of Drupada, who is your disciple, right? So now if I just say it normally, it gives one way of but if I put ourselves, right, he's running to the Guru and telling something that Guru already knows. So let us say somebody just because they made a mistake, this is a glass made of glass, or some thing made of glass, it falls down and it breaks. See what you did, right? If you say that, isn't it that they're able to, if I break something, a glass on the floor, right? I can see that, right? I'm already, maybe having some kind of a emotion, feeling that, oh, why I did it. When somebody comes and says, see what you did, he's not asking you to just see, because I'm already seeing. That person is actually scolding you, being arrogant, or showing their emotions.
Deppi podavantaru. I don't know what to call in English, right?
Yes.
Sarcastic.
Sarcastic.
Sarcastically,
this is not even sarcastic. This is like beyond that. He's so angry.
No.
He's really angry. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we need to understand this kind, this, which is not there, in the meaning directly, but when do you really say that you see this, right? Now he's younger, compared to his guru. He is a disciple of guru. Now a disciple goes and tells guru, see that, right? It is not something that is just for information or something like that, right? It is that he's angry, he's arrogant, he's afraid, he's jealous. All kinds of feelings are there in Duryodhana when he said this. Right.
Sir, I have a question, right? So in this
Sure.
one, we said Suyodhana Uvacha.
Mhm.
So other texts that I have seen, I had not seen this before. So
That's
this
why I'm
is
pointing out this. Yeah.
right.
So we have to, again, with Acharya's blessings, we try to, we get this knowledge,
Okay.
which may not be there, or could be even, represented in a different way, because, things have probably lost in the, for example, I just made a mistake, right? You can see that I made a mistake, that instead of Sanjay Uvacha, I kept Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra Uvacha. So people tend to make mistakes. So those learned people will be able to tell us what is right. So we again surrender to our acharyas to get that kind of a message. Now, why is that Suyodhana Vacha is required here? Because if, say, this Suyodhana Vacha is not there, then who is speaking this sloka? Whoever spoke the previous sloka. Sanjaya. Yeah, Sanjaya can be speaking this. Sanjaya cannot be saying Pasya Pandaputranam Acharya. It's Acharya is not Sanjaya's Acharya.
He is saying it as a third person or something like that.
Yeah.
So
he was seeing it. I thought like it's probably
yeah. So
Duryodhan,
if
Suyodhana.
let us say we have to understand who said this based on the context. Then there wouldn't have been a need to say Arjuna Uvacha, other Uvachas in the entire Bhagavad Gita, right? We could make out from the who said that, but the way it is written, the entire Mahabharata is written, it is, who is speaking is very clear. It is not simply derived based on the context, because if I want to derive based on the context, the meaning will totally change, right? So especially if it is said as a the person actually speaking, right? Then it has to be mentioned as who is speaking. If I am saying that, okay, Duryodhana said like this, Duryodhana's or Duryodhana's Acharya, he was speaking to, or something like that, then I am quoting, sorry, not quoting, I am rephrasing what Duryodhana said, then it is okay. I can say it is my saying. But if I'm quoting somebody and I don't say who it is, then it doesn't make sense. So here it is just quote, right? People when quote this say, Albert Einstein said, and then we say that. If I don't put that word, then it becomes my own words, and it will not be correct because it is not my, in that context. Same way. So these are certain things that we try to correct ourselves and learn in a proper way, so that we get the right meaning. So hopefully, again, we'll get that throughout this. What's the time now? Oh, 9:03. Okay. So I think we we would like to start and end as close to the timings as possible. So it is 7:30 to 9 o'clock. So we'll conclude here. Any questions, input before we conclude? We try to go through faster, hopefully, as we go along.
Very
Today-
detailed, and thank you so much for this
Yeah,
opportunity.
new points. We are learning new points, sir.
There's a whole
Okay.
story, Kadandi. Drupada, why Dronacharya, they have this, enmity, right? I mean, they have this whole story. Right?
This is why it's a long time, right? So we are learning it thoroughly
Yeah.
and clarifying the doubts we are getting. That's what the program is meant for, and we are very blessed in that way. I haven't really seen any other program like this.
With Acharya's blessing, all your support.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I was not aware that this and Dhrutarashtra, and when Bhishmacharya fell down on that day, it started coming to public. I was not aware of that. I thought beginning that when Sanjaya start telling about what Arjuna and Krishna conversation, I thought that is a start. That's the beginning. Thanks for letting me know that it actually it came to public after Bhishma Pitamaha fell down on the battlefield.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there are so many things like this. Will be surprised. Unfortunately, either it is not known because people thought, oh, okay, it is not that significant to tell, or it is totally misrepresented, right? I mean, because we saw movies they try to dramatize and whatever they want to show, they will show.
Watch.
Right? And then because we don't read the actual text, then we think that is the right thing, right? And we start quoting the same thing. Because I want to understand the context, I actually went through Bhishma Parva, the actual slokas, and then try to go through myself. And again, this is giving me opportunity to go through. Otherwise, I won't go through. I know certain things, but even beyond that, because he asked this question, do and so. I mean, I actually went through that recently while preparing. This is do is because he's. I didn't anticipate that question, but somehow God and Acharya blessed to give that knowledge to me, in time, just in time.
Sir,
yeah.
Bhagavad Gita started in Bhishma Parma of Mahabharata?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Is that why the reason that it's called Bhishma, sir? Like because that day he fell down, we start.
No. I mean, basically, in the war, whoever was leading from Kaurava side, that is what they named typically.
Okay.
So the war starts with Bhishma Parva.
Bhishma, yeah.
Bhishma, Drona, Karna, like that it goes. So yeah, there's a lot to learn. There's so much dharma is hidden in Mahabharata. Unfortunately, it doesn't see light at all because we do not have popular texts that explain in detail exactly as it was given in Sanskrit books, or because we think it is not useful for nowadays and things like that. So somehow we don't read it, but it is absolutely great knowledge. And Bhagavad Gita is just 700 slokas out of 124,000 slokas of Mahabharata. Bhishma Parva, when the war started, it's just sixth Parva.
Sixth
You can imagine there are 18 Parvas. So there's a lot of knowledge that is given after the war is over. Okay, I mean, typically, how many of us know that after the war is over, there are so many parvas to explain, right? We only think that Mahabharata ended when
With war.
the Kurukshetra war ended and Yudhishthir became the king. So there's so much knowledge that is given, Vedavasa has given to us through Mahabharata. It is a Panchama Veda. So whatever knowledge is in Vedas, he tried to present it in different, through a story, through conversations. So he gave us that knowledge.
And there is a saying, Mahabharata starts with a dog and ends with a dog.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So we'll conclude. It's 9:10. Sorry. We'll conclude with the prayer. We'll continue next week. Thank you so much. Kayena vacha manisendriyarva buddhyatmana va prakrite svabhavat karomi yajjat sakalam parasmai narayanaayeti samarpayami. Srimanarayanaayeti samarpayami. Sarvam Shri Krishna
Paramastu.
Om Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha. Jai Sriman.
Jai Srimanarayan.
Thank you very much, Nana. Thank you. Thanks.
Jai Sriman. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
Jai Sriman.
Balaji, if you stop recording, then I can show